Okay, imagine this for a second. All technology just stops. Dark. No internet, no phones, definitely no electricity.
Yeah, like an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse, wipes out the grid.
Exactly. Total blackout across huge areas.
Hmm.
How ready would you actually be? Today, we're doing a deep dive into a guide that claims it can help you not just scrape by, but really thrive.
Right, we're looking at Blast-Proof David's Shield, Biblical EMP Survival Guide, and our mission today really is to see how it mixes, well, ancient ideas with very practical survival stuff for modern threats, like an EMP.
It mentions offering a different path, too, yeah. Something away from all the complicated, expensive gear you sometimes see.
Precisely. That's a big part of its pitch.
Okay, so let's get into the program itself. Blast-Proof David's Shield. What's its core promise, then? Is it just about EMPs, or...?
Well, it's framed around surviving, a major collapse. Could be an EMP, could be other system failures. It's focused on protecting your family when the grid goes down. And interestingly, it even brings in the idea of preparing for an impending beast system for the Book of Revelation.
Wow, okay. The beast system. So just for clarity, the guide talks about that as like a future global control system.
Yeah.
Affecting everything, which is why you'd need self-sufficiency.
That seems to be the connection, yeah. Being prepared outside of those big centralized systems. And the way it proposes you do that is, well, it's fascinating.
How so?
It blends biblical perspectives, practical survival skills, and even wisdom from the Amish way of life. Timeless stuff.
Amish knowledge. Okay.
Yeah. And the creator, Henry Morris, he's described as a seasoned survival expert. He makes it really clear this isn't one of those programs where you need tons of complex gear. It's more about foundations.
Right. Foundational skills. That makes sense if everything else fails. So practically speaking, what does it actually teach? What areas does it cover?
It hits the big ones. Protecting your home specifically from EMP effects, how to secure water, food supplies,
Yeah.
essentially creating a safe, self-reliant space.
Yeah.
A haven.
You mentioned protecting your family, and the guide specifically talks about men who want to lead their families. That's quite specific phrasing.
It is, yeah.
But is the advice itself, only useful for men leading families? Or is it broader?
That's a fair point. While the marketing might target that group, the actual skills, water purification, storing food, finding heat off-grid, that stuff is universal, isn't it?
True. Anyone would need that.
Exactly. It's about equipping anyone to survive, really, regardless of who they are or their family setup.
And you see that reflected in some of the feedback, don't you? Like Sarah's review, she said it was the only one that truly made sense. Like the mix of biblical and practical, no-nonsense stuff.
Right, and she specifically mentioned learning to prepare without needing loads of expensive high-tech gear. That matches the program's core idea.
Then there was Lisa's story, which I thought was really telling.
Oh yeah, Lisa's experience during the blizzard.
She used the strategies from David's Shield when the power was out for, 9 days? Because of a blizzard?
Mm-hmm.
And she highlighted the off-grid heat and food storage tips as being lifesavers, which really shows, it's not just about some hypothetical EMP scenario.
It works for natural disasters, too, things that actually happen. Okay, so that covers applicability. What about beginners? Is this something someone new to preparedness could pick up easily?
Mm-hmm.
And does it work if you live in a city?
It seems designed to be user-friendly, yeah. So likely good for beginners. And the source material does mention it being adaptable for urban areas, which is obviously key for a lot of people.
Got it.
Plus, practical details. It's digital, costs just $37. There's a refund policy, so it's like pretty low barrier to entry.
Okay, but let's circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the biblical wisdom aspect.
Yeah.
How does that actually help in a crisis, according to the guide, beyond just the practical steps?
Well, the implication isn't just about staying spiritually calm, though that's probably part of it. It seems more about fostering a deep resourcefulness, community focus, like those ancient ideas of storing grain during good times for the lean years. Okay. So shifting away from relying only on modern tech and yourself.
Yeah, towards collective strength, foundational skills,
Yeah.
maybe a calmer, longer-term view of things, preparing body and spirit, perhaps.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture here? This deep dive shows, a really unique angle on preparedness, doesn't it?
It really does.
Faith-driven, focused on simplicity, using foundational knowledge stuff we might overlook instead of just complex tech. It suggests maybe real readiness comes from different places than we usually think.
Absolutely. And it leaves you wondering, what other traditional wisdom, maybe stuff we've forgotten in our reliance on technology, could actually be vital for resilience when things truly go sideways? What are we missing?